Using just 4 lights that cost 10 to 20 bucks each, I've created a pro cinematic podcast setup, which has allowed me to gain over 3 million views across all social media platforms, interview over 40 high-performing world-class guests and counting, including SpaceX co-founder Jim Cantrell, Poland's most streamed artist who I'm recording with this Friday, Ogrizek, who has over 7 million monthly listeners on Spotify and billions of streams on that platform alone. And today, I'm going to show you the exact equipment and setup I use so you can turn your bedroom podcast into something that genuinely looks professional and cinematic and will allow you to get more of an audience and attract more views and guests for your show, even if you're starting on a budget from scratch. First, we'll talk about the key light, then we'll talk about the fill light, and then finally, we'll talk about the background lights, which will allow you to get a fantastic cinematic podcast studio setup from your bed. So I genuinely just use 4 LED lights for this. You can use more or less, but this is a sweet spot I found so far. The first light you need to get, which is the most important, is the key light. The key light is basically just the main light. And what I recommend doing is getting a LED ring light off Amazon, which has an extendable tripod. What that allows you to do is have it eye level with you when you're sitting down. It's about 20 to 25 bucks on Amazon. You can set the color temperature to make it warm, cool, or neutral. And what this does is basically lights up your face. Let me show you what it looked like if I didn't have my key light on right now. See how much of a difference that makes. That is the most important light you need for your pro cinematic podcast setup. It illuminates the whole room, but it illuminates you. And it makes your face look soft, look smooth, and makes it look super cinematic. But here's my recommendation of the position that you need it to make it look super pro. So my camera's here. My light is here. It's about 45 degrees, 30 or 45 degrees from my camera. So it's off center. Why does it matter that the light is off center? Look at the difference between the two sides of my face. It creates a nice soft light here and a smooth shadow this side. That makes it look less boring, less flat, more cinematic. The next thing I would invest in is a 10 to 15 pound LED ring light, but this will act as a fill light, a fill. What that means is on the shadow side of your face, on the side of your face that isn't illuminated by your key light, this will illuminate that shadow side of your face, but from behind or from the side, so it's not neutral, it's not flat. There's still some contrast between the two sides of your face, which is exactly what they do in the movies. So let me show you what difference my LED side light, my fill light does. I have this as the cold white, and then I have this as the warm white, which creates a nice white contrast. But look what difference it makes. A very big difference as well. You can get away with just this. This is still nice. This is more contrasted. There's more shadow. There's more of definition on your face, on this side of the face. It still looks super cinematic, but I like this because what this does is it creates a nice white side light on my arms, on the side of my face. It makes it look more engaging, a bit more 3D, a bit more cinematic. Look at my arm as well. It's just like a nice ring light. It's like a nice ring light effect. And it's super good because you can position it like either 90 degrees from you, like I'm doing here, or where my books are here, which will create a nice backlight and make you look more 3D, make you look more cinematic. And I'll tell you why it's important to have a pro lighting setup now before I forget. And what it does is just level up your show visually. Podcasting is mainly audio, right? But the best way to grow on your show is YouTube. The best way to get engagement on YouTube is to improve the visual quality. No one's going to listen to me talking on YouTube if I'm talking in a room like this and I'm a silhouette. They'll listen if I have this light on. They'll watch the video because I look more professional. I'll look super professional if I have this light on as well. So it just makes you look more professional. It increases your authority and your credibility. And what that does is it means people listen to you. They listen to your advice and they watch the show longer. And the guests will also be impressed with your setup as well. I'm absolutely fucking obsessed with lighting and cinematics because I'm a photographer and filmmaker as well. So I definitely have that obsession to it. But my favorite creators, my favorite podcasters have fantastic cinematic lighting. We are visual creatures. We love colors. We love contrast. We love shadows. The best photos, the best films utilize light, and that makes them stand out. Use that principle for your podcast and you'll get more views on YouTube. You'll grow your audience faster and you'll be able to get bigger guests on, even from your bedroom, for less than $100, for less than $50 with these lights I'm talking about. Let's go on to the background lighting now. So this isn't super necessary, but if you want it to be cinematic, it is necessary. And I highly, highly recommend you invest in some small LED colored lights. Why is that important? Because if you just had these two lights on, you'd have a background that looks a bit shadowy. It's not very nice. It's not very balanced. But if you invest in these little panel lights here, like this blue one over behind me, and you make sure you have a multicolored setting, it creates a really nice contrast. Think about your favorite films. They're not in black and white, and they're certainly not one color. They often utilize complementary contrast colors. So red and blue, red and orange, green and purple. What other ones are there? Yellow and blue is quite good. I guess green and red maybe too. But the main cinematic films, the color grade that they use the most is light blue or teal and dark orange. And I'm sure if you look at your favorite podcasters or favorite creators, they often use this color contrast as well. Think about how much cooler your room looks like if you have LED colored lights in there. And think about how nice it is to see a piece of clothing or some lights that are complementary to each other. They're two different colors, but the colors align perfectly, like purple and green or light blue and dark orange. It just feels nice to us as humans. We just love that like combination and pairing of colors. So utilize that, because color psychology is a real thing, and the color that you put in the background will reflect the feel, the vibe that the audience get from watching the video. Certain colors evoke certain different feelings. So red is, rage. Pinks, love and lust. Blue might be sadness, but it also might be relaxing. Orange might be fiery, but also kind of relaxing as well, because you could imagine sitting by a campfire. So I've utilized the classic light blue or teal and copper, the dark orange, because they're complementary colors. They contrast really nicely, but they also evoke that cinematic feel, because loads of the best films use a blue-orange color grade, and it's natural. The sun's orange, the sky's blue. It's a nice natural combination, but also it creates that relaxed professional look, because light blue's nice, it's calming, but so is dark orange. It's like a little campfire. So I've put dark orange this side, light blue this side. It's just so nice. It just pops off so well and looks super professional. Like, I remember a few years ago looking at this kind of color grade expert and my favorite YouTubers, and like, I thought it costs thousands of pounds to create their color lighting setup, but I've done it with 2 LED background panel lights, which cost about $10 on Amazon. So no excuse. Invest in a key light first, as a LED ring light with a tripod, then invest in a back or side light, which fills the contrast shadow side. Make sure your key light is off center from your camera, because it will create a nice contrast of shadow on your face and look super cinematic. And then as a bonus, add some small colored LED panel lights and either make it one color like a blue background, or a nice complementary contrast like a orange and a blue in the background. Also, if your podcast is quite an intellectual podcast, add some props in the background that'll make it look like you're the case and look like they should listen to you. So I have my books that I've read in the background beside me. That's a psychological thing as well. It makes me seem more of an authority. It makes me look a bit smarter. than if I had like, I don't know, like flamingos and like alcohol in the background. It wouldn't seem that credible, would I? It increases your credibility, which means people trust you more, they'll listen to you more, they'll learn from you more, and they'll subscribe and listen to your show as a consequence. The little things add up. Big things start small by investing in a few LED lights, adding a few nice props like a plant, or if you're doing a football podcast, add a few football kits because it shows, okay, he cares about football, he's interested in football, I can listen to him, I trust him. It's all about that trust. Yeah, adding a few of these stuff will make your bedroom look like a pro podcast studio, and therefore more people will listen to you, more people will trust you, your show will grow, you'll get your dream guests, and you'll succeed. If you want some more in-depth lighting tips and want the step-by-step blueprint that I've used to go from no idea of how to start a podcast, no audience, to millions of social media views, 40,000 monthly listeners on YouTube alone in the past 3 months, which has allowed me to become the fastest growing under 21 podcast in Europe. If you want my step-by-step blueprint and want me to go through it all for you, my video course is in the top link in the description. It's half price currently. And as well as getting that course, you'll get my free, not my free, you'll get it for free though, as part of this community. You'll get my AI templates, my email templates, which allow me to secure my favorite guests, my dream guests like SpaceX co-founder Jim Cantrell, and over 20 best-selling authors, including neuroscientist Dr. Joe Gibelli. You'll get live weekly calls with me where I can give you personalized feedback, and you'll access a community of ambitious podcasters who will befriend you and help you grow, keep you accountable, keep you consistent, and I can give you personalized advice as well as an ebook which goes through all the best podcasts, all my favorite podcasts, and the exact tactics you need to take from them. Genuinely, if you want to just start your podcast, you want to become a pro podcaster, you've been putting it off for months and you don't have a lot of cash, or even if you do have a lot of cash, it will still be beneficial for you to do this, but you don't have a studio and you want to start from scratch, you want to start from your bedroom, this is for you. There's no other podcaster that I listen to that has told his audience or their audience all of their secrets and given them the step-by-step chronological blueprint to start their own show and gain millions of views and their favorite guests from scratch and fulfill their dream of becoming a pro podcaster. So I've created this for you. Top link in the description. You'll regret it if you don't do it. It's half price right now. The first 25 members that join will get it for this price, and then I'm going to double it, and then I'm going to keep doubling it. So you're early. Do not miss out on this opportunity. You will regret it if you don't. Your future self will thank you. Goodbye. Hopefully see you there.